Building. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Joseph with Jays, the podcast where we keep it real and break down the conversations that matter. I'm your host, Jays, and today's episode is Most Influential Sports Edition. Today we're asking the big question: what sport truly has the most influence? From shaping culture and trends to impacting communities and social movements, sports go way beyond just the game. I'm joined by two great guests. One to my left, Q.
Yo,
Q is a senior mass comm major with a concentration in broadcast journalism. Across from me, I got Miles.
Talk to me, don't want to.
Okay, graduating senior, mass comm major with a concentration in broadcast journalism. Both bringing strong perspectives on media and sports. And for today's episode, we got an expert, Ethan Gould.
What's going on, y'all? Thanks for having me.
Thank you. A multimedia journalist from Louisiana First News who's going to help us break down the bigger picture behind sports influence. Q, Miles, Ethan, I appreciate y'all boys for joining me.
Of course.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to start off with our expert, Ethan. I'll come to you first. What sport do you think is the most influential and why?
Right now, the most influential sport, I would say, is golf. It's a little different. I mean, I know a lot of people, especially like in our community, they're not familiar with golf, but I think golf is more influential simply because there's a lot of things, a plethora of things why golf is very influential. First, you can play golf at any time. It's not like playing basketball or football to where it's an age limit on it. You can go into golf at the age of 40. You can go in the age of 19. You know, golf is a very trendy type of thing now. You have people like celebrities, actors playing golf. You have CEOs of tech companies playing golf, presidents of universities playing golf. You also have even rappers playing golf now. Now your favorite rappers playing golf. As we saw last week, LeBron James, one of the most, probably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I don't think he's the greatest, but one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's playing golf now. So you got guys that shaped it like that, and Tiger Woods who shaped the fashion industry for golf. You know, golf brought in over $100 billion in economics in the U.S. last year. You just finished the Masters. You know, Rory McIlroy, he's back-to-back Masters champion. Now you see guys going to the Masters like Saquon Barkley, and you got a lot of guys that are going to golf tournaments now, to look at the aesthetic, be in the rooms, wearing the gear, tailor-made, Titleist, whatever it is. So that's my answer when it comes to that. I think golf is one of the most influential sports right now.
Okay, great answer, great answer. I'll go to Q. Who do you believe is the most influential sport and why?
I think the most influential sport right now is soccer. I think, you don't have to be the tallest, you don't have to be the strongest, the fastest, like you do in a lot of other sports. With soccer, all you need is a ball. You see people playing in the streets, they playing it on fields, they're just playing it everywhere. I think when a lot of young kids think about sports, they think about like the money that you can make. And soccer is that sport that, you're gonna make a bunch load of money. And then you also got like the FIFA World Cup, it's bigger than the Super Bowl. So I think, soccer is just that top tier sport.
Okay, great answer.
Mention FIFA World Cup is actually going to be here in the U.S. this year in Atlanta. So that's another thing that plays a part into soccer being very trendy.
Okay, listen at home if you want to enjoy that.
Gotta go to that.
Atlanta. And Miles, I want to get your perspective. What do you think is the most influential sport and why?
I think basketball. Everybody want to shoot like Curry, have the swagger of Michael Jordan, and dunk like LeBron. So I feel like basketball, and it's played in over 200 countries. Like it's global. So I feel like basketball plays a huge role.
Great answer, great answer. I just want to ask all the guests, do y'all think that the influence is more global or local for y'all sports?
I think for golf, it's becoming more global. So I'm gonna take you guys back to probably about 2 years ago. I was actually a rules official in golf, and so the amount of kids I dealt with, over thousands of kids from all over the place, and to see the kids they were coming into the U.S. From China, Vietnam, Japan. They came over to places like California just for the summer to play golf and get a scholarship to college or whatever it may be. I was dealing with kids from Mexico, dealing with kids from just Dominican Republic, all over the place. So I definitely think that, the sport that I chose is definitely a international thing. When you go back, and I advise you guys to go back and look when we leave here, you go and look at the field for the Masters. You're going to see guys from Northern Ireland, who the champion of the Masters this year, he's from Northern Ireland. So you got guys from Northern Ireland, you got guys from Argentina, you got guys from Korea, North Korea, South Korea, you got guys from Asia. So I definitely think that golf is a international thing. You got also Uniqlo. Uniqlo is a new brand. It's a new golfing brand out of Japan. So now they're bringing their stuff over here to the U.S. and they're getting, golfers like Adam Scott, who's from England, to be a brand guy for their company. So definitely think that golf is become an international thing now.
Okay. Okay. Q and Miles, like, do you agree with that, or do you differentiate with being soccer and basketball?
Well, me personally, I think soccer's more. I agree, soccer's more. Well, my sport is more global than local. Over here, we're kind of like late when it comes to like globalizing our sports, like American football and basketball. They're trying to pick up the pace and catch up to other sports. But a sport like soccer, I mean, that's more known outside of the United States than it is here. When you got guys like Messi now coming to playing in Miami, it was breaking news. We had never seen a player of that level, that athlete of that caliber from a different country come over and just kind of take over. And then you got guys like influential content creators like Speed and all these other young guys, creators. They are all seen with the soccer athletes, and so I think it's more global than it is local. But I do think influential guys like the Speeds and other content creators who are interested in that sport are kind of trying to like bring it over here and make it more known here.
Okay. How do you feel, Miles?
Well, I disagree with both. I think basketball is more influential, and that's because like you hear basketball talk about it, music, and they rap about basketball. You see highlights of dunks, clips going viral. Like basketball's all around you, and not just that. Like the sneaker culture. You know what I'm saying? You have Jordans. Like you have so many basketball players that now have shoes, and everybody wanna have Jordans. Everybody wanna have them some Curry, some bronze. So I feel like it's very influential.
Okay. Okay. Great perspective. Now let's talk about the influence beyond just entertainment. Like each of y'all, how do y'all feel? Do you think sports can actually create a change in society? Why not? Like soccer,
So,
basketball.
so when you say a change in society, are you talking about our individual sports, or are you just talking about all sports in general?
Y'all individual sports, like
Okay.
how golf can create a change in society, or how soccer can create a change, or how basketball has created, or how it can future create a change.
I think to answer your question, yes. Now people are using the game of golf. They're using it as getaway time. So guys usually use that like I said earlier. You see LeBron, he's going to play golf now. Tell me in his 22-year career, when have we ever seen LeBron James play golf? We just started seeing him play golf, right? He probably has been playing for a minute, but we're now actually starting to see it on social media and things like that. Golf is a game where people they go out there to ease their mind with their rich buddies or whoever it may be, or his son, he plays with his son, I know. They go out there to ease their mind. So I definitely think that golf is a game where it can change society because people see it as a different outlet to kind of get away from the real world problems or just like social media criticism. I mean, like I said, LeBron, he takes criticism on a daily basis. So golf is a way where you go to a country club where everybody cannot get in, pay your money, and you're basically just out there with you and it's three other of your buddies and y'all are just golfing. So I think that's a change that it's a way that can change society because people can see it as a kind of an outlet to kind of ease their mind and just clear themselves of mental health.
How do you feel, Q, about soccer?
I feel like kind of more so the same in the same regard as he stated. Like with soccer, I feel like you more so see the impact outside of like America. Like you see African kids. They're in the village. They're kicking the ball. They know, like, I mean, the type of money that you can make could change. It can change. In Ronaldo's case, it's brought money and fame, and he's like the most popular athlete. All forms of social media, and I'm sure he's used that influence to kind of like build up soccer in his community. I'm sure people in Africa and other places, their athletes do the same. Showing support. And it gives the younger kids a chance to see, like, okay, I can do this. I can come up from this, even though I'm not in America where all the opportunities are given to me. So
Great answer. We're gonna get back to that topic right after I hear how Miles feel about basketball. How can that change society, or has changed society?
I think basketball has changed it because like you now have like not even just the NBA. You have different leagues that you could put kids. You have AAU kids can travel and see the world and play basketball. And you have like I would say basketball it gets people out of the house and still remain productive. You know what I'm saying? So like I think basketball all around the world like hey you can always go hoop. I think that it's a great good stuff.
Great answer. And to quickly get back on the topic, what Q was saying about how Ronaldo he makes a change for the kids. I just want to ask Ethan about golf. How have golfing athletes use their platform to speak on social issues?
I would say golf and athletes use that. They use it in many different ways. I mean, they use it in ways to kind of show you a new outlet, or they can use it in a way to kind of show you that, hey, this is what we do just on a daily basis. Like I said, you have athletes like Tiger Woods. I mean, Tiger, he played golf all the way from the age of like 13, and all the way up to his recent events that we're not going to speak on. But golf is kind of a way to show you that it's a different sport. It's not your typical sport. It's a sport where it teaches you etiquette. It teaches you the certain ways of life. It teaches you how to conduct yourself in public. So that's one of the things that I would say that golf has done in regards to, teaching people something different.
Okay. And Miles, how have athletes playing basketball used their platforms to speak on social issues?
Well, Stephen Curry, Stephen Curry has always came out and supported like just movements and like community service. You always see like the NBA players, LeBron volunteering, Stephen Curry volunteering. Like your favorite NBA players, you see them out in the community and volunteering and making an impact in the community. And I feel like that will promote everyone else too.
Okay. And has anyone changed their opinion after hearing from others?
Me, no. I still have the same, opinion about like how impactful soccer is, with it being like the most popular sport, and the impact it has globally. I think I still have the same opinion.
Okay. What about you, Ethan?
I would say my opinion has always been the same. Like I said earlier, the sport that I chose is not a thing it's a thing that's on the come up. So that's why I chose it, because it's a thing that's on the come up. It's a thing that's very talked about right now. It's kind of like, when you have that new rapper that's coming out, you already have the Drakes and the Lil Babies out, but, it's a new rapper coming up out of Baton Rouge that's really creating waves and creating buzz. So I don't really say that my opinion on my sport has changed, but definitely saying the same because it's on the come up. So yeah.
Okay, what about you, Miles?
I would say my sport stayed the same. Like I still think it's basketball. And I'm not coming from a hooper. I am a hooper, but I'm saying from what I see. I said, based on what I see, basketball is very influential.
Yeah. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Most Influential Sports Edition. Big thanks to Q, Miles, and our expert, Ethan Gould, for bringing insight and perspectives to the conversation.
Y'all stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And then closing remarks from any?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
thank you for having me, man.
No problem.
Shout out Ethan.
Shout out basketball. Shout out Ethan.
I'm your host, Jace, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode.